The deep web can be a horrifying place, sometimes with some very unsettling and bone-chilling pictures and videos. After combing through hundreds of images, we've gathered the top 10 most creepiest pictures on the deep web. Be warned, as some of these images and stories are utterly creepy in every sense of the word. Number 10. The Lonely Death. The picture above is that of a girl whose story surfaced on the internet in the year 2005. According to a journalist, the girl and her friends ventured into the Odessa catacombs, which span about 1,500 miles, also known to be the largest catacombs in the world. The girl apparently got separated from her friends while being drunk and lost her way in the catacombs. Her body was found 4 months later by a group of miners. Looking at the picture, one could only shiver in fear after imagining dying alone in this cold, dark place. Number 9. The Man Who Fell from Space. The picture shows the remains of an astronaut, Vladimir Komarov, on an open casket funeral. Komarov died when his craft was blown into bits on impact. The Russian government wanted something positive to come out of the space program, so they forced a mission where two different crafts can exchange crew in space. Komarov was forced to pilot a botched spaceship. He knew he was going to die on this mission, so as revenge to his superiors, he demanded an open casket funeral in case he died, just to make them see what they had done. Number 8. Auschwitz gas chamber wall. The picture depicted above shows the horror of one of the Auschwitz gas chambers. Auschwitz was one of the biggest horror tales in the history of World War II. The picture above is that of a wall of one of the gas chambers at Auschwitz. Scratches from victims can clearly be seen as they were brutally massacred using deadly gas. Looking at the image, one can't help but imagine locked in a packed room with nowhere to go, where death is certain with an excruciating pain. One can get traumatized for life by these images. Number 7. The Final Moments of Regina Walters. Regina Walters was a 14-year-old girl who was abducted by a serial killer named Robert Ben Rhodes. This supposed picture is said to be the final moments of Regina, taken seconds before she was killed. Robert Ben Rhodes drove an 18-wheeler at the back of which he made a torture chamber where he used to torture his victims. He made Regina wear this black dress and heels before cutting off her hair and killing her in a barn in Illinois. Number 6. The Creepy Wedding. This creepy picture isn't that of an occult, rather a wedding being held at an island in Japan called Miyakojima, which is a hub for volcanic activity. The poisonous gas leaked due to a volcano which forced some residents to evacuate, while others are still living there, are forced to wear gas masks at all times. Although it's just a picture of a wedding where gas masks were a necessity, one still gets creeped out by the unsightly view of people in gas masks. Number 5. Pogo the Clown. All clowns are naturally creepy with all their creepy makeup and the fact that you never know who's behind the makeup. The creepy picture above is of Pogo the Clown, also sometimes known as Killer Clown, was a serial killer and rapist by the name of John Wayne Gacy. In the time span of 1972 to 1978, John Wayne Gacy molested and killed 33 young boys and buried them in a crawl space under his house. Number 4. The Girl Who Was Locked Up for 25 Years. The picture above shows the horror of 25-year-old Blanche Monnier, who was locked up in a room for 25 years by her mother for a simple reason of falling in love. She was discovered in France in the year 1901, covered in a pile of feces and weighed not more than 55 pounds. Locked away in a room without sunlight or human interaction, this image and story of Blanche Monnier is enough to creep anyone to their bones. Number 3. Creepy Traditions of the 1800s. The 18th century had some bone-chilling and rather creepy traditions, one of which being post-mortem family photos, where the family of deceased would dress them up and post with them in a family photo to remember them by. One such photo is shown above, in which a mother sits with her 3 children, one which died a few hours earlier. Number 2. Cooper family photo. The creepy photo caused quite a stir on the internet as many debated this is fake, but no evidence could be presented to prove it's fake. The story goes that Cooper family moved into a new house and took a family photo. After the photo was developed, to the family's horror, a body falling from the ceiling materialized behind them. The body was thought to be that of a former tenant of the house. Analysis showed that the photo had not been tampered with. Fake or not, this is still one of the creepiest photos on the internet. Number 1. Russian sleep experiment. This photo first surfaced on the deep web with the story about a Russian sleep experiment. The story depicted is an actual failed experiment done by Russians in the late 1940s, when researchers kept 5 prisoners awake for 30 days using an experimental nerve agent in a sealed chamber, also known as poisonous gas, with the promise that the prisoners would be released if they kept awake for 30 days. On the 5th day, the prisoners started showing signs of extreme paranoia. On the 15th day, when there was no contact with the prisoners, the researchers opened the chamber only to find mutilated bodies of the 5 prisoners. They had started eating themselves in order to stay awake. The prisoners violently refused when asked to go out of the chamber. Rather, they insisted on staying in with the gas turned on. The picture is supposedly one of the 5 individuals. The story is one of the creepiest on the internet, and combined with this picture is undoubtedly topping this entire list.